Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Alexandria Lakes Area Fishing Report. You know, this is one of my favorite times to be on the water, the middle of June. And in the Alexandria Lakes area, there's a lot of fish on the bite right now, and there's a bunch of different ways to catch them. But today I'm going to highlight two of my favorite guide-proven techniques for putting folks on fish. The first one involves walleyes, and what I'm doing is I'm targeting some deep weed edges. Maybe a shoreline flat that comes out and drops into deep water, or maybe the edge of a sunken island or sunken hump. But a lot of our lakes have heavy weed growth, or fairly heavy weed growth, and where those weeds stop growing because the water gets too deep and the sun doesn't penetrate, that's the outside or the deep weed line. Getting on the outside edges of those weed lines and covering some water, looking for small points and small turns, and using your electronics to see some fish is a great way to target walleyes. I use a heavy bottom bouncer, I use a 2-ounce rock runner, I'll use a crawler harness, either just a plain snell with a crawler or a spinner. I'll go 0.8 to 1.2 miles an hour, cover some water, looking for fish, looking for those irregularities, and it's game on a lot of days. Early in the morning and late in the day are prime times, or if we get cloudy, windy days, this pattern will go all day long. So the outside edge of the deep weed line, chasing walleyes with the bottom bouncer, great way to catch walleyes right now. If you like fishing largemouth bass, here's another pattern that involves the deep weed line. This is what's called a jigworm. Now, this has been a staple amongst Alexandria area guides for many, many years, long before I was guiding in the area. This has been a great bait, and this is one, again, get out, hold your boat outside the deep edge of the weeds. If the weeds, say, end in 15 feet, maybe hold your boat in 18 to 20 feet. If the weeds go down to 18 feet, maybe hold your boat in 22 to 24 feet. But kind of quarter cast to the weeds, let this jigworm combination settle in, snap it, hop it, reel it back, make another cast, and keep moving down the weed line until you get bit. And when you get bit once, lots of times you get bit a bunch of times. And a lot of times when you get bit, it's because there's something different. A point in the weed line, a turn, a different kind of weed cover, something different. But this jigworm is really simple. All it is a plain jig head with some type of a plastic worm. This is an ocho, which is a straight tail, do nothing worm. You can use the classic curly tail worms. A lot of different baits in the 4 to 7 inch size range work when jigworm fishing. Simple, spinning gear, deep weed line, cast, let it settle in, hop it, shake it, reel it back, keep moving. When you get bit, lots of times you'll get bit multiple times. And in the Alexandria area, there's a bunch of lakes with largemouth bass that'll eat the jigworm. So right now, the bite in Alexandria is good. Get out in the water and enjoy, and we'll see you again next week.